Hello, I am Dana. I am a USA Today bestselling author. I'm a developmental editor, and I am the chief storyteller at Danger Tales. I'm also the host of Romance by the Book and the fingers behind this email newsletter that I'm turning into an audio newsletter. So let me explain. You will see me come in after I write it. I'll read it and add some commentary, and I will talk our way through it. Listen, this will be chatty, but I do believe that you will get gems too. I have learned fairly quickly that doing video and audio, I just think better. So, with that said, you're going to see me reading. You're also going to hear me talk. And if you are wanting to rock with your girl during this time, go ahead, grab your beverage of choice, whether it's coffee or tea, or if it's late, girl, it might be some wine. And just rock with me for this episode. This episode will also have more information than what you will see in the written newsletter because honestly, it's a larger crowd and it's like sometimes I just feel uncomfortable. Okay, I just feel uncomfortable. And y'all, I'm not going to apologize about it. So I'm going to get into this. And then after I issue one final caveat. The caveat is this. Coming into this year, I decided that I was giving myself permission to be myself. Y'all, I'm silly sometimes. I'm not a goofy person, but I'm silly sometimes. I have very bad jokes that are funny to me, and sometimes trying to suppress all that stuff and the stuff that goes on in my head, it is a job. And because it is a job, I don't do a lot of things that I know I should do. And I am not alone. And if you're in the back and you're part of the Amen crowd, I need to just hear you hit reply, say you are speaking it. I also know that this is how I show up. This is how I teach. This is how I help people. This is how I serve. And if it is silly to you and it doesn't work, then it's best for people to go ahead and just wave goodbye, keep me in their thoughts. I'll keep them in mind. But me not showing up because of it means that I'm not serving the people that I am called to serve, and that is not acceptable. So I really had to give myself permission to show up. Permission to show up. Eyebrows or no eyebrows, makeup or no makeup, newsletter or audio or however, and whether it's one or it's thousands, this is what it is, okay? I'm so nervous even saying it. I'm not even going to lie. But I also said I was going to be truthful about that because I have so many things that I want to do, and I refuse to be the person who is getting in my way. I refuse to be the person, like, I don't let what other people are doing really faze me like that. So therefore, I need to bring that into this space because I know I can help you. I know I can. And I won't get that opportunity if I'm not myself. So with that said, y'all gonna get all kinds of y'alls. The corny jokes are for free, and we're going to get into this. So that is my long caveat. I have a feeling I will be issuing that caveat, the shorter version, over and over again for the first few, not so long, but just so people will know if they're coming in and they're new, and that this is a safe place and you feel comfortable. Okay. So with that said, I'm going to start on this week's newsletter, which is the first one. It's not number one, but it's like the first one in this new reboot. And then I will make some announcements at the end. How long will this be? I don't know. Perfect for walking though. Okay, so here we go. Hi there. You might not remember me until you scroll down and see my face. Y'all, I have to also warn that I'm really bad at editing while I read. I'm Dana. I help romance writers write addictive novels. The work is still work, but my goals is that my clients, number one, feel totally supported and not alone. Number two, have an amazing time writing what they love. And number three, get paid. Hard pause. So that is one of the things that I wanted to add back into my communication with clients and with you all. Most people that I work with are not writing for a hobby. They're not writing just for self expression. They are writing because they would like for writing, as I say in my podcast, to be the thing that they do. And you cannot do that if you're not getting paid. Lights, internet, all of that costs money. They want the coins. And therefore, that must be a part. Now, we don't have to, well, how you do that is up to you. If you say a dollar amount or whatever, but it's got to be in your intention. If it's not in your intention, how will you ever expect to get there? So anyways, we'll talk about that hopefully another day. So to get paid, number 3. And that's on Mary Had a Little Lamb. Again, in here I put hard pause. And that is what my daughter likes to say. I don't know if it's something the kids say, but every time we are just like, this is it, 10 tones down, it's like, and you know what? Period. And that's on Mary Had a Little Lamb. I can hear people unsubscribe. I'm so sorry. I hear people unsubscribing in my head. Okay. But oh my gosh, that's hilarious to me. And that's on period. Mary Had a Little Lamb. Okay, so hard pause. Y'all, I'm writing the way I talk. So you know I'm chuckling and having fun already, and you guys see that. Let's continue. I'm popping in because you joined my email list a while ago, probably after hearing me speak, participating in one of my workshops, or due to a friend inviting you. But I've got to be honest about something. Even though my goal was to send you these amazing, resourceful, and click-worthy emails weekly, I failed. I could give you a million reasons, but the simplest one is I choked. So, the choking came from what I told you earlier of feeling like it had to be a certain way done, like what I see. And I always think those are so boring. I never finished them. So every time I would sit down to do it, I wouldn't do it because it was boring. Like in my brain, that's just not me. And I had to think about a couple of things. One of the things that I thought about is whenever I'm working with writers and they have an issue with the blank page, what do I do? How do I talk them down? How do I help them get from a blank page to something on the page? And I usually have I have literally a toolbox of tips depending on the person, because I will read a client and I know what tips and strategies and resources will help them. One of those things is to let go of what should be and just put something down. That it's easier to edit a page than to edit. It's easier to edit bad words than to edit a blank page. And I had to think about that here. I had to think about what made me feel like I just could not flow and be myself. I know I have stuff to talk about. Y'all, I could talk. I leave the airplane trips. I leave everywhere. People are my BFFs, and I'm really not even honestly a people person like that. People tell me their life stories. I will have conversations with people's parents, and I get DMs from their children. They find me on Facebook. It happens all the time. So I know, again, that I have something valuable to say, something valuable to share, and I can help people. So why was I choking? And I am starting to think that I choked because I wanted it to be a certain way. And I wanted it to be this polished, and like I'll read Justin Welsh's emails and they're just so hidden, and I want my email list to grow. So is that what I need to do? And then I sit down and do it and it's just like, nah, I'm good. And what makes it harder is that my client roster still grows. And I'm thankful for that, that I can live. I lived my entire business off of referrals, that clients who work with me don't leave. So that is a blessing. But it also means that it's harder when I need to stretch. And now I need to stretch. So I choked. And at the end of 2023, I sat down for my annual review. My annual review starts in mid-November through the end of December, which is usually, all decisions are usually made by mid-December. So like I have a month to 6 weeks, and then I can take a break before coming into January. And I decided I am going to give myself permission to show up. Dana, sometimes you're going to get me with no makeup. Sometimes you're going to get me with no eyebrows, because it's a running joke because I have very sparse eyebrows. And if you are a guy, you're probably wondering, what is all this talk about eyebrows? Listen, eyebrows shape your face. It makes you seem awake. Eyebrows are important. And this is the part where I tell y'all I'm corny, but eyebrows are important. So I just gotta warn you, because if you start staring and you be like, oh dang, this one of them days, you gonna know it. And I'm okay with that, right? But part of this can be traced back to your youth. Have you found that you didn't pursue the things that you really wanted in your heart because of some sort of resistance? And if you really take time to dig into that resistance, it backtracks. It tracks back to something someone said when you were 7 or 13 or 11, and it really hurt your feelings. And you thought in the moment it only hurt your feelings, but it was just like one more rock that was in this bag of rocks. And now you realize you're carrying a backpack full of rocks and stones and all of this weight that keeps you from pursuing your goals. That weight, it keeps you from being the best version of yourself. The version of yourself that is needed, that we need, that your family needs, that your career needs, that your business needs. But that backpack is so daggone heavy, you can't even think about anything else. And then it wins. It wins again, and you don't do anything. And so I know my thing may be the lack of eyebrows, but choking, I'm not alone. I'm not alone, because most of the people on my list want to write a book, and you are choking. And I'm here to give you some air. Okay, let's keep going. So I will continue reading. Between that and a whole lot of other life stuff, which I had a lot of life stuff happening, I froze and let my runaway thoughts stop me from showing up the way I wanted, the way I needed. And I let this special newsletter fall off the radar. And I did. I had all these plans, but they just bounced around from here to there. What do I want to share? Do I want to teach? Do I want to... all of these things. And honestly, I just had to let it go and start from scratch. So, to tell the truth, last year, I nearly clicked delete on this whole email list. Because sometimes it's easier to stick your head in the sand than start over, you know? But I'm emailing you now because I'm ready to start over. I've got lots of I want to change this, but I've got lots to share, like a new series of content I've been using with private clients to grow their fan base and thrive in their publishing efforts, how to use AI to write the kind of books that you could have only imagined in the past, and no pearl clutchers allowed, easy ways to put one foot in front of the other and pursue your writing dreams. There's more that I want to share. You will see this audio newsletter. I also have for clients that have joined me, whether private clients, whether they bought a planner, whether they've purchased a small low ticket offer, anything, they're going to get access to a private podcast. And for this year, it is going to be focused on my 10K project. So if you are a past client of mine and you are still here, can you do me a favor and hit reply and tell me how what product you purchased or what course you were in, so that I can get over the private podcast link to you. Y'all, it's going to be raw. I'm going to be talking about what I'm writing, how I'm publishing, what I'm doing to market. Sometimes I'm sure I'm going to be in my feelings. Sometimes I'm going to be pumped up, but it's going to be just like this. It's going to be straight shooting, but I want to show you through my work because that has been my most valuable resource in the past. It has been the fact that when I am talking to clients about writing, I am not just an editor. I am a writer. This is not all of my books. I have over 100 books and I write under several pen names to this day. And I write, and that is what helps me to help my clients. And so I want you to experience that because my goal is I want my pen name to be six figures, or what I write under Janice Dixon, to exceed six figures. And I'm just rolling up my sleeves and doing the work. And I'm going to take you, well, not you if you haven't purchased anything. Sorry, not sorry. But for clients who have been along and have invested in my dreams and being a part of this process with me, you will be along for that journey. And I'll take questions and all that good stuff. So this is why the audio newsletter is where it's at. Okay, let's keep going. And if you've got a question you'd love me to talk about, please reply and let me know. And that goes here too. If you want me to talk about something, it's going to be a lot more detail if I can talk about it than in the newsletter, but I will give a straightforward answer in the newsletter so that it will be helpful to other people too. Okay. I'll add it to my future email topics list, which y'all is long. So, or honestly, it's short kind of because I emptied it. So I would love to know what are the things you would like to hear about or you would like for me to share in the newsletter. I also have series of content coming up, and the podcast Romanced by the Book is coming back. I have old interviews that are coming, and then after the old interviews, we're going to go into me showing you what to do and talking you through it and answering your questions, because that is what I really wanted to do with Romanced by the Book, the podcast. Okay, so that's coming back too. Also, I understand if you don't want to stick around, no hard feelings. Click the unsubscribe in the footer to permanently delete yourself from my email community, and you'll never hear from me again, even though I'll be sad. You don't have to go, but if it's better for you and it keeps the juju over there, I'm not saying people have bad juju. I don't even know what juju is, but it sounds funny. If it's better for you to be over there and this is not for you, I just always ask people to keep it 100 and keep it classy, right? Like we can love each other from afar, and this just may not be for you. Some people are not for the jokes. Some people are, it's just so varied, and that's okay too. But I still prefer when people do it in a way that is, look, I always say honoring the God in you and you honor the God in me, right? Like that we are showing up and, keeping it classy. And for those of you who stay, I will add this final thing before closing this out. Thank you. This is the part that makes me emotional, because the reality is I live a life I once dreamed about. No one ever did for me to see what I do. And that's how I know it's real. And in my heart, I want to give that to as many people as I humanly can. whoever I can touch, I can encourage, I can love on, I can give correction, I can give direction, we can party, we can hang out, whatever that is making life full and that will allow you to bring all of the fullness of who you are into the world. Because we as a world needs it. The people in your circle of influence need it, not want it, they need it. And if I can be a part of that in a positive way, sign me up. Sign me up 2 times, okay? So, thanks for starting over with me. Thanks for joining me for this audio newsletter. Here's to new beginnings and writing amazing, best-selling books. Period. And that's on Mary Had a Little Lamb. My daughter is going to say, Mom, you can't keep on saying it. But it makes me feel happy. So with that said, y'all, this is it. If you plan to stick it out with me, let your girl know. This is going to be uploaded on to Loom. I'm not making it all super snazzy. I'm also going to put this in an audio, a private podcast, so you can listen to it on the go. What you'll just need to do is, I don't know yet. So in the Loom, when you get to the page, you can leave comments, you can leave thumbs up and all of that. And I guess I have to, in the email, I will put the link to this and you can subscribe to the podcast. So whenever the private podcast, so that whenever I add a new edition, you will see it in the newsletter announced in the newsletter, and then also you will get it automatically wherever you listen to podcasts. So your girl is out. Y'all, I'm so happy. I'm probably smiling way too much. I laughed a lot, but this is what you're gonna get. Some days, y'all, I'm not gonna lie, I'm not all the way here, but I'm really excited about life and I feel blessed. And it feels good to finally do this the way that I've dreamed about. So have a fantastic day. Let me know any questions you would like for me to address. Let me know if there's some things that you have choked on and what you're going to do about it. And I'd also love to know, are you excited about joining me on this journey? I've decided whether there's 1 or a million, trillion, however many it is that God decides to put in my zone of influence or my sphere of influence, I'm down for. And so with that said, your girl is out. Have a fantastic day. Happy writing. Goodbye. Oh, and don't forget, I gotta work on my closing. Don't forget, if you have a story in you that you feel like you are called to tell, do it. If you're looking for help in doing that, you can always visit me online at dangertells.com, but do not drag your feet on that. Your blessings, your everything that you want is on the other side of submitting to that. Okay? That's not a fancy closing. I'll get better. Okay? I'll talk to you later. Yeah. Bye. I've been